Hello everybody, my name is Corey and I will be discussing empathy and leadership. Specifically, I will talk about the concept of empathy, how you can enhance your empathic ability, and why it is important in leadership. Leaders are usually someone that has a high level of influence or power. They come in all forms and none are exactly the same. But to its core, a leader is simply a person who leads or commands a group, organization, or a country. Just because someone has influence or power does not mean that they use it effectively. Believe it or not, there are bad leaders in this world, and we have seen many examples throughout history. But what separates a good leader from a bad one? There are many traits that can separate the good from the bad when it comes to leadership. For example, Martin Luther King Jr., in comparison to Kim Jong-un, shows the ability to listen to people rather than direct people. He is able to take the perspective of others and care for the well-being of others. And most importantly, what MLK possesses that Kim Jong-un doesn't is empathic ability. Empathy is a tough word to define because it is far more complex than people realize. I like to use the definition from the Cambridge Dictionary, which defines empathy as the ability to share someone else's feelings or experiences by imagining what it would be like to be in that person's situation. So how do we increase our empathic ability? First, we must understand perspective. In a study that conducted 25 experiments testing whether being instructed to adopt another's perspective increases interpersonal insight, found that getting another person's perspective directly through conversation increased interpersonal insight, meaning that when you have a conversation with another, you are more able to understand them and their point of view. Second, we must understand theory of mind. Theory of mind looks at the ability to reason about one's own and others' mental states. Having theory of mind is critical for efficient communication, fostering social learning, and is a foundation for empathic concern. An article written by Dr. Adam Baimel and colleagues discusses the emerging literature and connection between behavioral synchrony and theory of mind. Syncing up with others makes us better able to infer and predict others' future behaviors, which increases cooperative tendencies and ability to cooperate successfully. Perspective and theory of mind are building blocks for empathy. Having an understanding of these two concepts allows for someone to showcase empathic concern. But why is empathy important in leadership? Empathy in leadership isn't being concerned with someone's output, it is being concerned with the human being. As a leader, naturally you want your team to be successful because it ultimately is your job. Oftentimes, leaders put the success of the company, team, or society over the well-being of its makers. Laying people off or threatening employment if their production is down, this creates a stiff and unproductive environment. Practicing empathy creates an environment where people can be themselves. Now you are a leader who is not feared by its followers. You are praised by them because they feel safe in the environment. Empathy promotes trust amongst the community because it allows for vulnerability. People will continuously want to be under your power because you have shown that they matter as well. Leaders that practice empathy find success in the long term through changing the lives of others. Simon Sinek talks about a great example of how leadership can affect the output of an employee.
And one afternoon, I went to buy a cup of coffee, and there was a barista by the name of Noah who was serving me. Noah was fantastic. He was friendly and fun, and he was engaging with me, and I had so much fun buying a cup of coffee, I actually think I gave 100% tip, right? He was wonderful. So as is my nature, I asked Noah, "Do you like your job?" And without skipping a beat, Noah says, "I love my job." And so I followed up. I said, "What is it that the Four Seasons is doing that would make you say to me, 'I love my job'?" And without skipping a beat, Noah said, "Throughout the day, managers will walk past me and ask me how I'm doing, if there's anything that I need to do my job better." He said, "Not just my manager, any manager." And then he said something magical. He says, "I also work at Caesar's palace. And at Caesar's palace, the managers are trying to make sure we're doing everything right. They catch us when we do things wrong." He says, "When I go to work there, I like to keep my head under the radar and just get through the day so I can get my paycheck." He says, "Here at the Four Seasons, I feel I can be myself." Same person, entirely different experience from the customer who will engage with Noah. So we in leadership are always criticizing the people. We're always saying, we've got to get the right people on the bus. I've got to fill my team. I've got to get the right people. But the reality is, it's not the people. It's the leadership. If we create the right environment, we will get people like Noah at the Four Seasons. If we create the wrong environment, we will get people like Noah at Caesar's palace.
If you want to be a good leader, start with empathy. Thank you.